it in
Oh,
2
he's
seconds.
fixing it. How much of what I just said wasn't heard?
I think all of it, except for possibly on the radio station. Let's see. We should be able to hear now. Yes?
Just hang in there. And for those on the radio station, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to repeat myself. It's important to me that everybody hears, the whole podcast. Did she say she could hear now?
Yep.
Okay. So this past week, we had a murder right here in our small town, Ashtabula, over some drugs. At least that's, what they're saying right now. 3 men are in custody. One of which I knew was a child, unfortunately. And as I was saying, because we're on the radio show too, and I know that they can hear, I'm sorry. This young man wasn't raised this way. He was raised to be loving, supportive.
Mm-hmm.
You go out and you work for what you get, that type of stuff. And it's a path he chose to take. And unfortunately, it's a bad path, And now he would probably spend the rest of his life behind bars. The other young man and he's definitely a young man. I think they said 23. He just ruined his life.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, I'm not real sure who he is yet, because like I said, until he's formally charged, they can't release his name. But thankfully, the police department, sheriff's department, whoever all was involved in this, managed to scoop him up within a week. Well, the one guy actually went to Conneaut and turned himself in there. So I figure he's probably figuring, well, they already got him, so it won't be long before he turns on me. And that's the thing people don't think about. Y'all do these crimes together, and then when they pick somebody up, you're kind of like, oh, crap.
Right.
Because I'm telling you something. If I do something wrong and you did it with me, I'm not going down alone. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was my idea or what. You went with me. So you're going down with me. So let's say that's how that one's working out. Once all names are properly released and everything, they're formally charged completely. I might release names, but like I said, if you go on any criminal page in Ashtabula, it's all over there.
Right.
The one guy who actually turned himself in, the family saying it's not what we think it is. Well, he turned himself in. If it's not, why would he turn himself in if it's not fact? So it's insane. We will be doing crimes from now on. We have a big variety of crimes, of course, to cover. If you know of a crime that took place in your hometown or in your area, I don't know what he's grinning at.
Let's see. Somebody put a comment on Facebook, says, note to self, no committing crime with Bonnie.
Well, that's a good thing, 'cause I won't commit it, but I was just saying. But yeah, take your notes, because like I said, and if I do something wrong and I'm really guilty of something, I can't hold it in.
Mm-mm.
That's just not my personality. I'm going to spill the beans. I'm going to be like, oh, guess what I did? I'm so sorry. I remember I took somebody's pen one time, and I didn't do it intentionally. I'm a pen thief. I really am. And when I came look for it, I'm like, I ain't got their pen, because it was an expensive one.
Mm-hmm.
So then I get to school the next day, and I'm like, oh, crap. So I'm doing the angel devil thing. Do I take it back and make him think I lied to him because saying I didn't have it? Do I just keep it? But I took it back to him. And I'm not sure if they really believed me, but I took it on accident. I really didn't know I had it. So I tell on myself. So for today, we actually have a crime that took place in Los Angeles. It's a sad one, 15 years ago. And the last update I have on it was from a year ago. So this is all specified in a 14-year time frame. So we have a young man that he was 22 actually, and on March 27th, 2008, he was killed. And a lot of what I'm telling you, he's making notes over here. He's making me nervous. All right, so a lot of what I'm telling you here are things that his mother spoke about.
Okay.
The family wants closure, and if I am reaching listeners out that way and you know something, understand it's hard enough to lose a loved one. It's even harder when you can't bring that person that did it to justice.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to bring him to, I'm not sure. I think we may be saying it wrong. And to know why.
Right.
And I think every time somebody is convicted of something, I think they should have to explain why they did what they did. Even if they can say no good reason, I'm just a thug, you know? So he left his home that night telling his mother how much he loved her. He was a young kid, 22, had a job, working on his master's degree in business, just bought his first car. No help, no nothing, did it on his own. So here's a mom watching her son get ready. She's very proud. He graduated high school. He's getting ready to graduate with his master's in business. He's getting ready to apply for law school. And he's working and just bought his first car.
Wow.
So she's telling you how I just watched my baby turn into a man.
Mm-hmm.
Only for him to walk out that door and never come back.
Right.
He'd even left paperwork on his desk at home for his internship in Washington. And of course, thanks to some fools, it's something he's never going to be able to experience or even accomplish. He went with his friend, Kenneth Peterson. And by the way, this young man's Cliff Hibbert Jr. I hope I'm saying his name right. They were shot and killed at 2 a.m. the following morning. Mr. Hibbert's body was found laying on a sidewalk in the 4,200 block of South Fergona Street in South Los Angeles. Just a few feet from where he was parked. Now, this was 15 years ago, and those responsible for this double homicide have yet to be identified. The mother says, the criminal justice has failed you, as it has failed many in our community. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gaskin told Hilbert's mother, Donna Brown, during a news conference at Mount Maria Missionary Baptist Church of Los Angeles on the anniversary of this young man's death. The reality is that the solvability of homicides in this country is abysmal. Yeah. Sorry. And even in our own country, sometimes it's only around 50%. Okay, so the mother and his sister, Ayanna Parker, actually that stuck out to me because I knew Ayanna Parker when we were kids. Mm-hmm. So that really stuck out to me. But of course, I didn't know who this man was. She created the Cliff Hibbert Jr. I can't remember my own rating. Endangerment Group. The organization serves as a resource providing support, information to the loved ones of people slain in acts of gun violence. They partnered with the advocacy groups Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and Everytown for Gun Safety to host a news conference. All right, so the investigation into this death, like many unsolved cases, has been at a stalemate. Progress may not be possible unless people come forward with new information. Now, one of the district attorneys throughout this states, you can't always do the fingerprints, the DNA, all the things that we think they should be doing. It takes for people to come forward and say, I saw.
Right.
There was even one girl taken into custody who to this day they believe she knows something and she wouldn't crack. They say fear of retaliation. However, there are anonymous hotline tips.
Yeah.
So, I get it. If you're afraid, of retaliation, however, you really should be hanging out with these kind of people. Use the anonymous tip line. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take anything. If they ask for your name, tell them, I'm not giving you my name. And it's anonymous is just that, anonymous. Let's see. That was actually, she was a former public defender that stated that. I'm sorry. They're saying they have to build trust within the community. Well, I know how you're going to build that trust. So many crimes have gone unsolved. If they think somebody's a thug or a drug dealer or whatever, they just tend to drop it. Mm-hmm. Some say good riddance, it's more trash off the street. But what nobody's thinking of are those loved ones that didn't do that are left behind.
Right.
So we need to step up. We need to open up some of these cold cases and give these families closure. Mm-hmm. I don't care what they did. don't take it out on their families. Okay, so Blacknell also said that it was that power brokers, like lawmakers, law enforcement, and prosecutors, initiate the process of fostering that trust and listen to those they serve. Even so, Hernandez acknowledged that some potential witnesses may be held back by legitimate fears of retaliation. Okay, and this part is true. You know, it takes a lot of courage to come forward. It's not easy. But how would you feel if it was your son, daughter, brother, sister, a cousin, anything? You know, go with that mind frame, and think of what you could be doing for these families. They don't deserve this. This is just, it's ridiculous and just totally uncalled for. Let's see. Mrs. Brown still believes that this case can be closed. She still holds faith. In all this information, I have. All right, it says anyone with information on the killings is asked to call the LAPD's South Bureau Homicide at 323-786-5100. Those wishing to remain anonymous should call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 1-800-222-8477. That would be your tips. So I have to ask this. I mean, you're going to a party. Parties are supposed to be joyful and eventful, you know? Yeah. Why would you have a gun? Okay, they're saying he was found just feet from where he was parked. Does that mean he didn't even make it to the party? I mean, they haven't released enough of this case for anybody to say, was there an altercation in the party? Right. I mean, let's face it. It doesn't matter how good of a kid you are. You're not always going to get along with everybody. So was there an altercation that led to him leaving and this happening? Right, wrong, or indifferent altercations happen, and you know, you get somebody hot-headed enough.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah. What can you do, to bring these people to justice? 15 years isn't too late. 30 years isn't too late.
No. While we're on the topic of time past not being too late, with the technology that we've got today, with being able to identify bits of DNA and match it to a person, there's been crimes that are probably well over 100 years old.
Oh, no doubt.
That have been solved and wrongful convictions overturned.
Right.
So of course, there's no time like the present, but no matter how long this does go unsolved, we know that it can be solved. Why is it that a case goes cold after 5-10 years and it gets swept under the rug? Now, I know police departments and detectives are busy with continuing crimes building up, and they can't focus as much time as they probably would like.
So now, cold cases aren't just forgotten.
Right.
A lot of places bring in detectives specifically for the cold cases, and the older they are, the more they push for them. I mean, you think about it. If something happened to me, you're 90 years old, you still don't have your answers. Who's really going to push?
Right.
The grandchildren, maybe. Right. But that, other than them, everybody else is going to be like, well, who is this woman?
Right.
So they're not going to care. And I have a relationship with my grandchildren. So now, like I said, you're 90 years old. They're, 60, 60s.
somewhere around in there.
They might say, we still want to know.
Right.
I don't care if this person is dead or not. I want to know who did this and if you can tell me why. So the further back the cases go, the harder it is, as you know. And then they're thinking, okay, well, here we are 20 years later, but we're still getting phone calls about this case. So let's pull this case forward. Mm-hmm. And that's where their focus is.
Right.
So many people say, it's been so long, I'm never going to get my answers. They just live with it. They quit calling. They quit. Mm-hmm. And those cases just aren't, they'll eventually be brought forward.
Right.
But it doesn't give the family closure now.
Right. Well, and I think, and of course this is personal opinion, and I kind of sit on both sides of this fence, but there's a lot of self-proclaimed detectives out there, which great. You know, you enjoy, you know, doing your research and you know, finding out who was where and, mm-hmm. and whatnot, which is great. In some cases, those people that proclaim themselves to be detectives in their own right, you know, of course, without any law enforcement authority, of course, but I do know that they have helped bring cases to closure in the past, mm-hmm. and will continue to do so in the future.
Right.
You know, so I think that for a good portion of these cases that have gone quote unquote cold, that the people that want to do that research, whether they want to bring closure to that family or they've heard about the case and they find it interesting and want to know, mm-hmm. the end result, essentially.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of the cases that have gone cold, we need to rely on those people and possibly even give them more resources.
Well, honestly, I mean, right now I think they have more resources at their fingertips than they could ever have.
Right.
I mean, science does change every day. I'm sure something new is eventually going to pop up. But here's my thinking. It's a party. Mm-hmm. Is there only 3 people at this party?
I doubt it.
So you have 2 dead, 1 shooter. Where's the casings? Can't they take the casings? I mean, if this guy's out shooting people, I'm sure this gun's been tied up with other things. Find the casing, do the testing, you know, see what you got to do. And like I said, to be in a party, I'm sure everybody wasn't indoors.
Right.
So bring those people in, put heat on them. It's been 15 years. They had to have grown up. They have to know that this is the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, because, you know, they can't just bring them in and say, okay, we know you know something, so we're keeping you here until you tell. Unfortunately, that's against the law. They can't do that.
Right.
But they can put the heat on them. Start showing up. Sit in front of their house. I mean, Los Angeles has to have some, you know, financial backup to be able to do that kind of stuff.
I would imagine.
Knock on their door every day until they say, okay, I've had enough.
Right.
Maybe they'll even get a lawyer involved on their own, and then something will come up that way because the lawyer's going to encourage them. Tell what you know, make a deal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. We have so many kids out here with bright futures that are either being killed or doing the killing, and they're throwing their lives away. Mm-hmm. So what do we do? Now, one thing I learned over the weekend, my daughter taught me, we need a new jail here in Ashtabula. Mm-hmm. Everybody, first thing they hear is your taxes are going up. It's only 1%. And at first, you know, because I was hearing, you know, well, you know, this and that's going on in the jail and da-da-da-da. I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm guilty like everybody else. They're prisoners. It's not supposed to be peaches and cream. We don't have places to house. Everybody's getting turned away.
Right.
And why pick people up? Because you're going to bring them in and the judge is going to release them because we can't hold them. Mm-hmm. So pay that 1% increase. Let us go ahead and get the new jail. And like I said, it's not about the fact that they're prisoners and they shouldn't have top of the line things. They shouldn't live in sewage areas. They shouldn't have to not be able to use the bathroom because, that's just proper hygiene and needs to be dealt with. So I had to kind of swallow hard and step off my stepping stool for a minute there and say, I'll pay the 1%.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly right. We as a people worldwide, I believe, have done many disservices to people that have been incarcerated in the past, in not giving hygienic cells to be able to keep themselves healthy and whatnot. I understand a lot of people's thought process. They're prisoners. They're in there for a reason.
Right.
But you know what? How many wrongful convictions are there?
And that is true. That is true. But, they put the toilets in the cell because they don't have free roam.
Right.
A lot of people do get up during the night and have to go to the bathroom or whatever. But you don't need a maid to go in there and clean it. So to say, let them clean their own toilets. Let them.
Right.
And that way, if they are living in their own filth, it's their doing. But they shouldn't have to deal with being told you can't use the bathroom because, we're having a sewage problem or something like that. I have no problem with taking care of the hygienic part of things. Where I start developing problems is when they go get on a computer and email their friends. When we're paying for them to go to school, only for them to get out and throw it away. Now, if they're doing the schooling, come out and do something that makes themselves a better person, I'm 1,000% behind that. But so many have all these certificates and degrees, and what are they doing with them?
Right.
They're back to selling drugs. They're back to carrying their guns. Lives are being lost again. And for what?
Right. Exactly.
Because somebody holds a degree and, it's okay. So that, those are things I have problems with. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to sit down for an hour and watch TV throughout the week. But they have better TVs in the jails than we have in our homes.
Some of
now,
them do.
I don't know about the jail right here. I can't speak on that. But they do. Mm-hmm. A lot of them do. And it's wrong.
Right.
I mean, basically, people are going to jail just so that they can have a roof over their head and 3 meals a day and still do whatever they want to do.
I've heard it said before, 3 hots in a cot.
Yeah. Now, we actually have some homeless that go out and commit stupid crimes in hopes of being put in there, at least for 3 days, just so they can have a shower and a bathroom. That's sad.
Yeah.
I don't. You guys have Google at your fingertips. If you want to Google this, see what you come up with. Some people have great minds and they can pick things up that maybe a detective's not picking up.
Right.
Some people are made for this kind of stuff and don't even realize it.
Well, and in my experience in the past, especially when it comes to school and everything like that. In English class, anytime we wrote a paper, we had to have a peer review our paper because we're not going to find our own spelling mistakes.
Right.
We're not going to find our own grammatical errors because we wrote it.
Right.
Where a peer, it's fresh eyes.
Yes.
The same thing applies to just about everything else. A fresh set of eyes almost always helps find.
Right. And I'm going to say, after 15 years, I'm almost certain it's probably be different detectives on the case and trying to figure it all out. So that in itself is going to give it fresh eyes. If there's any chance that anybody that is familiar with this story is listening, please tell what you know. It's very, very important. And this case needs to be closed, along with many others.
Right.
And what are you reading?
We've got another comment. Says the jail isn't about amenity, or the new jail isn't about amenities. It's about space to actually lock up the people that are supposed to be locked up.
Right, and that's why I said these are the things I have the issue with.
Right.
But then the way it was explained to me, I'll pay that 1%.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The amenities and stuff are things that tend to turn people off.
Right.
Where if they sit, like, it was like, no, this is, she just flat out said, this is what the new jail's supposed to do and why.
Right. Exactly.
And like I said, people really shouldn't have to live in their own filth unless they chose to, which to me is still, we need room.
Right. Exactly.
We need room.
Exactly. I mean, I think what we're trying to say is that, jail shouldn't be like the Ritz,
Right.
but it should be a secure
Yes.
facility that is clean and healthy for the inmates.
And truth be told, and I can't help this, but if all those amenities that I did mention, if they weren't implemented and put in there, that's more money towards, a bigger jail. And those are things we need to think about. We'll pay our taxes. We'll get this done. But we need cooperation on your end too.
Right.
Yeah. Voting time is over, so it's not like I can go in there now and say, "Oh, hey, I wish I would have brought this conversation up before because the explanation of it just really opened my eyes, and now it makes sense to me." And that's because when you do go vote, you really have to watch the verbiage.
Right.
It's tricky. You could turn it around in your mind and totally vote the wrong way because you're trying to play it through your head, and with the verbiage being what it is, sometimes you do end up voting the wrong way. So make sure you're knowledgeable, and that way when you go in, that verbiage makes sense to you.
Right.
You go in without the knowledge and stuff, and it could be bad.
I can't tell you how many political things I've looked at, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are they trying to say?
Right, because it's part of politics, honestly. I mean, and you figure these guys are college graduates. They have the big words. They have, so it's all just coming across in ways that we're not quite understanding. So when you start seeing those signs come up, vote for this, vote for that, do your research. Talk to people who understand.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
I didn't know how the conversation came up, but as soon as I mentioned jails and the new one, I had my explanation, and it was in layman's terms, and I totally understood what was being said to me.
Right.
And so now, like I said, if it gets, I'm pretty certain it was voted down. If it comes back up again, and I'm sure it will, I will be voting for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sadly, we're running out of space in our jails and prisons.
Because originally, my thoughts were, well, why just build the new jail and do away with this? Why not keep this? And then I remembered what I was seeing about all the sewage backup and this, so it started all add itself together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember how old the Ashtabula jail is. But I do know that it's quite old and needs renovation if it's going to continue to be a serviceable holding unit.
Right.
And, I mean, I wouldn't wish living in filth on anyone.
Correct. I agree.
So really, with that in the space, I as much as I hate to say it, we do need to change things and make things better.
Well, they're saying this jail went up in 1978. That can't be correct, can it?
It can be.
It's got a capacity of 169 inmates. It was $7 million to build it. I mean, let's tell the truth. You're putting in cells and bathrooms for,
That's a lot of plumbing.
So, I mean, the cost totally makes sense. And that's another. If you're concerned that you're just going to build another jail that only holds 169 people, and you're like, pick up a phone, make a phone call.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, we want to house X amount. There are people in some areas, because our jails aren't the only ones that go through this. They went through and released everybody on lesser crimes so that they have room for the major crimes.
Right.
And it's just the way things fall. And everybody needs to understand anybody that commits a crime needs to be punished. So while these people aren't speaking out, this same person could kill your loved one.
Exactly.
So think about that. He's walking the streets and getting away with this crime from 15 years ago, and it could be your loved one that he hits next. So, I mean, it's not like you kill somebody, then you say, oh, I learned my lesson, and you go on with life and become this perfect person.
In rare instances, it may have happened.
May have.
But I doubt it happens on a regular basis. Yeah.
Well, that story definitely didn't take as long as I anticipated it taking. So we still have some time. I see people are chatting at us. Is there anything anybody else wants to hear about or chat about?
Oh, I've got to open Facebook in another window so I can actually read that because it's...
Yeah, and if you're on the radio show, you can still respond to us by using the radio station information that DJ Menace over here gives you all the time.
Oh, yes. You can text us at 408-290-5407 or go to www.qthradio.live/chat and chat with us there as well.
Okay, so we have another comment. They consider it a fun fact. A lot of people don't know they were upset about not disclosing which areas they were thinking of buying. But part of why they did not or did that was to protect their finances. Also, Ashtabula County residents' finances, because they knew if people who were selling the properties knew that it was the city looking to buy it, they would very well increase the cost. Which is very true, because people think, oh, it's government, therefore they want it bad enough, they're going to pay this amount.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense to me. So, like I said, let's pay these taxes. If there's a fundraiser to be had, I'd be willing to do it.
Right.
Because now that I have the full understanding, I totally support it.
Yeah.
And now I know when I'm dumbfounded and don't know what to think, I'm going to pick up that phone and say, hey.
Right. Well, and that's a thing that I don't think a lot of people realize as well, is that, if there's something in your community that needs changed or needs done, and you're calling who you think are the appropriate people to take care of the situations at hand, and nothing's getting done, call your city solicitors.
Yes.
You call your city solicitors often enough, and they'll get tired of you calling.
Right.
And put some action in.
Yes.
So.
And like we were saying in the beginning, there's no DNA or anything in this case, but us as citizens can make that difference.
Exactly.
So, and I say, if you have information and you're not coming forward, you're a coward. Mm-hmm. You're a coward.
You're just as guilty as
yes.
whoever committed the crime, yeah.
Yes, and I mean, that's even something, I taught you kids. If you're standing there while they're bullying somebody and you don't walk away or stop it or try to get some kind of help, you're just as much at fault. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you've got any kind of information on any kind of crime,
yes.
even if you think it's insignificant, call the authorities, the non-emergency numbers or what have you, and let them know what you know.
Mm-hmm.
They'll write it down and keep it somewhere, and if it's useful to them, great. If not,
you tried.
You tried something.
Yes, and that's what's important. We have to step forward. We have to want these changes.
Right.
That would be like, me watch somebody in the store stealing, and I just keep shopping right behind them, knowing what they're doing, and I don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well have helped them. Here, open your coat. Let me throw some more in there. It's just the way it works. So, do we have any other fun facts or anything out there? I will say we got a little off track for the last couple of weeks with me going on vacation. I had a nice one. It was really nice. Especially spending time with those grandbabies and Nina and stuff. Oh, it was. I don't think we sat still too long. Nina and I did sit on the porch one night, wait for the rain to hit, and just to watch it, and it wouldn't. We waited for the pig to give birth. None of that happened. It all waited till I was pulling out of the driveway. But I did get to see pictures right after they were born, because I no sooner got home, the pigs were popping out like Pez dispensers over there. There's at least one more that needs to deliver, but she needs a little bit of a rest because out there it's raining. She was out in the cold rain. So she was looking to get warm and have a little bit of a break before she had to go do it all over again.
Yeah.
Last I knew it was still raining. Got to see Tyler Perry Studios. That was really nice. And if you don't know me, I'm a big fan of Tyler Perry and everything he does. So there's even the one show everybody keeps saying how stupid it's turning, but I still tune in weekly because I have to know. So, anything you want to talk about today? We have a little bit of time to kill here.
I don't know. We can talk about the gift card that we're going to give away. It'll be a random drawing on for the radio station. And I keep stammering because I've not slept in like almost 24 hours.
So here's going to be the deal. DJ Menace over here. He's DJ Menace because that's the name of his radio show, Saturday Morning Coffee with DJ Menace. He started an online radio station. And I'm stressing the online because I said something to my grandson about listening to the radio. He goes, Grandma, who listens to radios? Okay, it's a streaming, the radio, that type thing. So we're trying to build up a listening base. Listener's base, I think is how I want to say that. So here's what's going to happen. You get people to listen and they say, hey, so-and-so, hooked me up at this radio station. I really like it. Just something. Their name goes into a drawing as well as yours. So if you start listening, you can win a $25 gift card. And that will be to any place you're choosing. And they'll get a chance to win a $25 gift card. If you send 10 people to listen to this radio station, that gives you 10 chances to win a fun $25 gift card. Does $25 sound like a lot? No. But it's $25 you're not counting on.
Right.
$25 you have to do nothing for but say, hey, listen, So, and we will announce the winners on July 29th at 11 o'clock. Yeah, we're going to do it at our family reunion. So, we went to the LGBTQ plus. While we had a good time, we didn't turn out the results that we had hoped for, but we still have time.
Yeah.
We did have a couple off weeks, so maybe once we're back in tune here and do things the way we're supposed to be doing, maybe that'll help. And we're going to start doing the podcast on the radio station as well. As a matter of fact, you might want to see if somebody else is listening and had any input yet. I don't know where your phone's at.
I put it behind me.
Again, I mean, this counts for YouTube. My grandson told me I really need to get on Twitter, so I really do need to figure that one out. I'm on Twitch. Periodically.
We were on Twitch right at the start, but it's not been wanting to function as of
so we're not on Twitch, but we do have YouTube. Everything's always posted on my website. On my website, sometime this weekend, we'll have the information and times for the radio shows for DJ Menace. I'm going to start posting, like maybe a paragraph of what the podcast was about in hopes of, making you want to find out the outcomes and so on and so forth for those of you, who only catch bits and pieces or, if you want to refer somebody to the website. And I really think in time we can get this rolling.
Yeah.
So if you want to win that $25 gift card, it's easy to do.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
No, it's going to be you today. Okay. As long as it's not me.
Anyhow, one other thing too with the radio station is I think we're going to start a spooky story segment. So if you like your spooky stories like I do, I'll I'll be trying to find some spooky stories, or if you guys have some of your own spooky stories that you want to kind of submit and whatnot, I'll read them verbatim and have a little fun with it.
Yeah. We're also talking about a possible talk show, but we definitely need more listeners. That's something we want to be able to interact with people and do things like that.
Take the phone calls.
Right.
Get listeners on the air, yeah.
Right. A talk show is just not a talk show if we're sitting here talking amongst ourselves. I mean, if that's what you'd like us to do, you know. So, yeah, we have some good ideas that we're coming up with. It's going to take some time to implement them, but I think it's something that we can do.
Yeah.
While I was gone, I was going to actually do an interview with my daughter, from city girl to country girl. We never did do it. So while I'm killing time, I guess we'll do that. To the best of my knowledge, she's always lived in Ohio. I think she might have been born in Germany, but for the most part, has always lived in Ohio. Ever since I've known her, all I've ever heard is, horses and things like that. So after all these years, she finally bought some property out in Virginia. She started out with a couple goats, a couple chickens. But now she has, I think there's 5 goats out there, 3 pigs, that were, or at least 2 of them were pregnant. The one gave birth to 4 little piglets, the cutest could be. The other one's waiting. They actually have a family pet pig now. Yeah. Well, the other ones weren't really trained to socialize.
Right.
So, and, Caden kept wanting to pet him and stuff. So they went out, they got Caden a little pig of his own. They have guineas. They're clearing out land in hopes of getting an emu.
Ooh.
Yeah. She wants an emu. But most importantly, she wants a horse.
You know what I want her to get? I want her to get a llama.
I don't think she cares what you want. I'm just saying. But could you imagine pulling up somebody's yard and seeing an emu?
Right.
Then people would be like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, she said geese. I'm sorry. What's geese? I thought those were guineas. She's listening, so she's kind of typing to me here. Okay, but anyway, they're cutest. Oh, she's adding geese. That's right. She's got geese now, too.
Right.
All right. I'm a little slow, but I got that. She's probably typing thinking, what the heck? The guineas actually, they have 2 baby geese. And, yes, they were following us in the yard. They were just like little puppies on a leash.
Wow.
You stopped, they stopped. When we got there, she was walking out. I'm like, what the heck? They followed her right on out. When she stopped, they stopped. When she moved again, they moved with her. It was really cute. And they like Levins. They came up to me for Levins. Oh, I don't know if you can see Chloe here or not, but she's hearing us talk about animals, so she has to stick her nose in. And it's a hard process. She gets up early in the morning. She's out there. She's feeding them. Like I learned, goats don't eat wet food. Goats don't like to get wet. And I'm like, are you serious? Pigs, of course, they don't care what they do. While I was there, I got to see the one pig because there's like a big water trough, and she kept knocking it, and we couldn't figure out what she was doing. Here, she made herself a big mud puddle and was rolling around in it. I guess that's where they get the name pig. And then what was there? The guineas walk all over the place. They fly, and they come back. So yeah, I don't know what their flying span is, but they got on top of a storage container. And I'm like, how'd they get up there? She's like, flew. And I'm like, they fly? But, they're free. I mean, of course, she locks them up from time to time. She did have a bunch of chickens that, unfortunately, a wolf got. Was it a wolf? Fox. Fox got it. So they have to work on that. I guess they have a couple fox roaming around out there.
Yeah.
Which, it's a farm, But to watch it is so impressive because, like I said, walking around the city, you'd always see her dressed to a T, whatever you want to call it. And then out there you see these big old, almost knee-high boots and everything flopping around and she, make sure she pets all the animals. She spends time with them, and the pigs weren't letting her touch them. So she actually got on the ground and sat down with them in hopes that they would come over. Yeah, and then of course she exercised them to death in hopes that those babies would pop out. But it was definitely intriguing. It's definitely her calling. That's where she belongs.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not had the luxury of living or working on a farm, in the same respect anyway, but I did have the opportunity to help take care of a friend's horses, and it definitely takes dedication.
Yes, it does.
So I mean,
Yes, it does.
early to rise, early to bed.
I know it's 11 o'clock, and she said, "Ooh, it's way past my bedtime." Those animals have to tire you out. That plus keeping up with your house and 3 kids. It's like, how do you do this?
Right. I mean, it's like 5 full-time jobs rolled into
Well,
one.
right. So then I'm sitting and I'm looking at her kitchen that's spotless, and there's like nothing on the counters or nothing. And I'm thinking about my kitchen, and I'm like, how does this work? She got all these animals, these kids, and did say I came home and cleaned off my countertops and everything because I was quite inspired. I'm like, if she could do this with 3 kids and all these animals, daggone it. So we won't tell anybody, but a lot of stuff hit the garbage can.
Well, sometimes it's what you've got to do, though. I remember one time, you and I don't remember who else it was now, but you and someone else was helping me clean my room because I was not by far.
Are you talking about when Snake came up missing?
That might possibly be it.
Okay, that wasn't me because I was downstairs laughing too hard. All right. So my son and Nina come to me and say, "Oh, we want to take the kids or the boys over to this reptile show. We're not going to buy them anything. Maybe a book, what they want. That way they can read up on it, blah, blah, blah." I said, "I don't want any animals in my house." But sure enough, one come back with, I think, a bearded dragon. Some kind of an iguana. And another one came back with a corn snake, which I don't even like snakes. So, well, somehow this corn snake gets out. Mm-hmm. We're looking all over for it. Needless to say, we never did find it. I'm sitting downstairs, and all of a sudden I hear, "DJ, what's this for?" "Oh, you have to think about it. You don't need it."
Yeah.
"DJ, what's this for?" You would have thought by now, he would have already learned. Quickly, give a reason. She threw out so much crap. If you hesitated, you didn't need it.
Right.
Yep, that was her. That wasn't me. Like I said, I was too busy laughing. And she's proud of it, too.
Yep.
You threw stuff out the bedroom window.
I don't remember that.
Wow. Things that you learn. I guess I shouldn't have been laughing so hard. I might have noticed. So.
But, yeah. Fun times.
Yeah. She said he had school papers from the year before. Oh, that's funny. And she can't believe I remember. She must think I'm old and senile.
Sometimes I have to wonder if you are or not.
Hey, I got another 50 years for that goes. So.
But yeah. I don't know. It's fun times.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And so, yeah, when your children tell you that they're going to take them and they're not bringing anything back, don't believe them. No, she said he was keeping all the school papers from the year before just in case.
Probably.
They probably had the answers on them for this year.
You never know. I tried to be clever as a kid. It didn't always get me anywhere, though.
So we're going to go back to the farm. Nina's out there. She's built her own chicken coop. As cute as could be. She's built huts for the goats, the pigs, because they don't always want to be out in that crap. And like I said, goats don't like rain. So they all curl up in the hut. The one male, he was quite funny. Had those big old horns. You should have seen your dad running behind the tree. Yeah. They were playing peekaboo, I think. It was like the goat would say, "Peekaboo, I see you." And Dad would say, "Oh, let me go another way." And what else has she built out there? Well, she's always been pretty handy and crafty, so, you know. I even got her the one time to make a mailbox for me for the kids' Christmas party at the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
They still use it.
Wow.
And it's huge, just like a regular mailbox. I just wanted something cute and little. Nope, she can Christmas colors and everything, yeah.
Well, fun little fact about pigs, right? So pigs wallow in mud, right? Everybody knows that pigs wallow in mud, and a lot of people think that because of that, pigs are really dirty animals, right? What people don't realize is that pigs are actually one of the cleanest animals that you can ever have. Just the reasoning for them wallowing in the mud is because they don't have sweat glands like you and I do. So you and I produce sweat that evaporates off of our skin to cool our bodies down. Because pigs don't have that, they had to evolve and think with their brains, because they're actually quite smart as well, on how to cool their bodies down to get their core temperature down on really hot days.
Okay.
So they found that wallowing in the mud, as the mud, or as the water from the mud evaporates off of their skin, it dissipates a lot of that core body temperature.
I got you.
To keep it regulated.
Well, you want to know another fact about a pig? Do you know a pig will eat a human body?
Yes.
I mean, this is a crime station, so.
They will.
But they don't eat teeth or hair.
Right.
So, just saying.
Yeah, it is great protection from bugs and sunburn as well. Yeah, pigs do have hair. It is really fine, and the sun beats through it just like it beats through the hair on your arm or whatever.
And there's also a 3 thing about pigs. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. Pigs stay pregnant for 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. And they give birth after 3. Did I say that right?
I wonder if that's possibly an old wives' tale.
Well, it fits because they didn't give birth after 3. And if her calculations are correct, there's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then if you feel like your pig's pregnant and it should be giving birth, and you're kind of like, if you squeeze one of their nipples and milk comes out, you know they're ready to deliver anytime.
Right.
So.
I mean, believe it or not, a lot of the things that we've learned about pigs from a scientific and anatomical point of view is that anatomically, pigs are extremely similar to humans. A lot of...
that would explain a lot.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
A lot of the research that gets done for preparation for human trials gets tried on pigs before it goes to human trial, because pigs got almost exactly the same digestive system. Yeah, of course, there are differences. Their skin is almost the same texture and density as ours. So you'll find tattoo artists that are learning, if they're old fashioned anyway, they will get a carcass from a butcher, with the skin and everything, and practice on the pig skin. And apparently American footballs were once made out of
Pigskin. That's, yeah.
Hence the term pigskin.
We even had a gentleman, he was known as Pigskin Pete. He did all the announcements and everything at the school football games and everything, yeah.
And Nina also brought up another fact about the anatomy. People that need replacement heart valves. There are mechanical ones that are being produced in laboratories, but a lot of the heart valves that people need replaced are donated from pigs. So
sounds good.
It's quite the amazing thing, the similarities between humans and pigs.
Right.
So
Angelina, I see you're really listening here. So is there anything specific you would like to talk about? Or hear about?
I think there's about a minute delay between the time we say it and the time she hears it.
She likes listening to us talk about her. Alrighty then. So, I don't know what else to say about you other than the fact you're a pain in the butt, but you know. Oh, DJ's Googling. We're in trouble.
No. Got a message that we can't be heard very well on the radio station. So for next week, because it seems to be going without a hitch, knock wood. Next week we'll have to figure something else out to get us louder on the radio station.
Absolutely.
I know we're quite loud on YouTube and Facebook. So
keep talking.
it's it's going to be different through your headphones than what it is for everyone else.
Yeah, but you got to get closer to the mic.
Well, I know if I get closer to the microphone, it'll get louder.
I'm just saying.
So
okay, so next week we'll definitely make some adjustments on the radio station. DJ Menace over here also has a Facebook page for the QTH radio. Sometime today he's going to redo his, what do you call that? It's not the profile picture, it's the...
Oh, the banner, yeah.
Yeah, the banner. He's going to put up there what shows he has lined up and when, so everybody can pay attention to that and tune in. Like I said, we are working on a couple other ideas. If you're interested, I mean, you don't have to play music if you don't want to. You know, if you're a funny person and you like to make people laugh or whatever, we could put in a comedy section, can we not?
Yeah.
So, and just know, this is a hobby.
Right.
Not, you know, it's not a job, it's a hobby. So then, Angelina would like to know how to download this on her iPhone.
We do not have an iPhone app. However, if you can download Get Me Radio, I do know that Get Me Radio has an iOS application.
Yes.
And you can search QTH Radio on there. That's one of the radio station directories that that I'm listed with, among many others that I completely forget, and I'm somewhat ashamed because I should have it all listed on my website. But
it looks like we have a volunteer. Angelina says she's hilarious.
yeah,
are you volunteering over there?
If she can at least find the time anyway. I know she's got to lead a really busy life anymore.
Yeah, I don't think she sits down very much. I really don't. She's like, see, she went from hilarious to no. All right, but seriously, like I said, if you know anybody that wants to get in on some fun and, you know, it's strictly a hobby, there's no pay involved.
Well, that's what she's saying. We can't afford her anyway.
Yeah, she would do it for free. She loves us. And let's see, what else are we going to be doing? So we're working on some details on the scary book stories or whatever you call them.
Yeah, spooky stories.
Spooky stories.
I need to figure out a timeline. You know what time of the day? Because if the stories are short enough, I could record a whole week's worth of a series, and
with your hours, you would almost have to.
and be able to play them maybe every night at like
9 o'clock or
8 or
something.
10 or
Yeah.
something. So if you guys have any good ideas on when you want to hear the spooky stories, I know most of them are good or mostly good.
Your feelings won't be hurt if I don't tune in, right?
So, well, occasionally I won't be able to tune into my own stories.
Yeah, but mine would be, I would opt not to.
So,
I'm not a scary story person. And then, like I said, a possible talk show, and we'll see where we get things going. And I bet you we can start having some real fun on here. Just bear with us sometimes, with our work schedule or whatever. And of course, with it being a hobby, especially, if our families need us, that's what we need to focus on.
right,
We will try to be respectful enough to say, hey, we won't be on this week or something.
right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, as long as everything goes according to plan, anyway, it'll be a good time for everyone involved. So, definitely spread the word. Oh, I wonder if Nina still has contact with some with some people from her unit,
I don't know.
because we might be able to get a comedian on the station.
Well, you'd have to ask her that.
So, but that'll be a topic for when we close out of here, and
Yeah.
I can get a hold of her. So,
And it's about time for me to let you guys go. I'm going to start doing something a little different at the end. And I'm going to find you some real... I don't know why I read some of these comments. I swear. I'm going to start ending the show with some quotes. She's quite witty. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. By Wayne Dyer. So that's what I'm going to leave you with.
yeah,
The way you look at things. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
exactly.
So that's telling you if you look at them negatively, that's where they're going to be. If you see them in a positive light, that's what it's going to be. And I totally believe that. Your life is what you make of it. Your happiness and your sadness, it's what you make of it.
Right.
So take that little bit of information, do with it what you will. In the meantime, enjoy your week. I will be on the QTH radio show Friday night at 7 o'clock, DJ Flashback,
Yeah.
with some smashing hits.
Yeah. Smashing hits from all the eras.
Yes, we change it from smashing A's to smashing hits. It's kind of hard to put it all in one era.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many good years for music that
Yes.
I can see how it can be hard to contain yourself just
Right.
in one decade.
Right. And like I will be posting more on my webpage and on my Facebook page. I'll put up little ideas of what's going to be going on. So keep checking us out and then see what we have to say, and hopefully we see you guys again next week at 12:30.
Yeah. 12:30 every Saturday, circumstances permitting.
Correct.
So, and then if we can't do it Saturday, we will try to plan something out for another day in the week,
Yeah.
to either get something pre-recorded or something along those
Yes.
lines. So,
And I'm really sorry that today's story didn't go as long as I was hoping it would. However, I did get a chance, even though Nina wasn't on here to, talk about her adventures and stuff, which hopefully one day, because I want to know how she feels about the transition.
right.
So she's more than welcome to go on our website and tell you her view of going from city girl to country girl. Facebook, put it wherever you want.
Yeah.
And I'll even read it on the air next week.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there is another option that I'll have to talk with you and her about, but
one way or another, you're going to hear her side about the change. I have to say, I'm impressed and I'm proud.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I never would have thought, but kudos.
exactly.
So,
So, what do you want to say now? We kept these people long enough. Let them go out and enjoy their rainy Saturday.
Yeah. I'm good.
All right. From my house to yours, have a good weekend.
Have a good one.